Okay, welcome back to part 2. I didn't expect these to go on quite as much, but there is a hell of a lot to talk about. So in this second part of the video, in case you're wondering, I've just recorded this all in one go. I've just split it up for you guys. That's why I'm wearing the same t-shirt. So the next part, say you get sale agreed or you get an offer accepted. Fantastic. All your searching is over. You've everything done. That you found the house that you wanted. You and your partner, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, whoever it is that you're buying the house with, you've found the house. You've put in your offer and your offer has been accepted. You've probably put in something a little more than you've wanted to, or for the few among us, you got the house for a little bit less than it was up for. So that's always good. Rule out what needs done in terms of decorating, because that will all come. Rule out what you need to furnish. Rule out all of that stuff for now. Your offer has been accepted. Now what you need to do, you need to think about solicitors. So in the United Kingdom, they're called solicitors, they're called lawyers, it's all the same thing. I should state as well that this is all to UK. This is all in the United Kingdom. It may differ slightly in your own country, so it's worth a quick Google just to see is the format similar. You want to find a solicitor, and it doesn't have to be the family solicitor just because he's the family solicitor. The day we got our offer accepted, it was at about 5 p.m. So that night, I was in work, but Leah went on and basically found a list of 10 solicitors within a certain area. They don't have to be within the area, as I will explain in a minute, but we found just a list of about 10 solicitors. And we basically went down through and emailed every single one of them pretty much with the same email. We have just had our offer accepted on a house. We give the address of the house, the value, in terms of how much we have put in as an offer, or how much the offer was that was accepted, and a price. Ask them for a quotation on how much they will do the legalities for you. Most of them will come back with about 12 to 1300. In our case, all of them came back at 12 to 1300, bar one who came back at £1,000. In the £1,000, he gave us a full list of charges. What this charge was. The finding of the deeds was £75. The professional cost, which is basically his fee, was £450. And they broke it down into each one. That's what you want. Once you sign that contract, that is the price that they have to stick by. If you get somebody that goes, it'll be around 1,500, 1,300, 1,400. I don't want around. I want how much is it going to be, and I want a breakdown of each individual cost. Solicitors, if they see that you're naive, will drain you for money. They'll go, it'll be 1,200, and then in 2 weeks' time, we've run into a problem. We need to get this piece of paperwork, and it's £100. No, it's not. Why wasn't that outlined in the first place? Be savvy, be clever. Think about it as trying to buy car insurance. You're always going to go to Go Compare and find which one's the cheapest or which one offers the best thing. So do the same with your solicitor. They're no different, and they do this stuff day in and day out. They churn houses in and out, so it's not hard work for them. It's easy money for a solicitor. If you're going through a mortgage lender or a broker, which we did, and I would highly recommend going through a mortgage broker. Pick what mortgage broker you go through. Again, do a test and see which one's best, if they all have fees or whatever. But let me just put it to you this way. I haven't set foot in the bank and I have a mortgage. I haven't spoken to the bank. I don't know who is doing our mortgage, but I have one and it's in my name. Why would I have the stress? Why would I want the stress of going into a bank, out of a bank? You need to sign this, you need to sign that. We need to ask you this, we need to ask you that. Can I phone you? Can I do this? Screw that. A mortgage broker knows what you need for a mortgage. Again, it's their job to get you a mortgage. You don't pay them a fee, the bank pays them a fee. So what you want to do, go to a mortgage broker. They will ask you for every piece of documentation that you need to give them and need to supply to them. If you have a bank account open, whether there's a penny in it, whether there's 100,000 in it, you need to give 3 months bank statements for all of your bank accounts, which was the mistake I made. So I then got a phone call from our mortgage broker. David, you have an account ending in such and such and such. Can you print us out 3 months of the statements and send them to me? Boom, right, onto the Halifax app, get those sent over to our mortgage broker. He gets those to the bank. Done. It's just a really stress-free way. You have enough stress going on after you have this done, and it's a mad panic in the first week or so. So you want to be as stressless as possible, and a mortgage broker will take some of that stress for you. They know what they're doing. They know how to apply for a mortgage. They've done it every day, probably 6 times a day. So they know what they're doing, and they will take that stress from you. I'm only saying that some of them don't have fees, some of them might have fees, and that's something that you'll need to take into consideration. Ours didn't have a fee, simply because they get a fee from the bank, and our mortgage broker wasn't greedy, so that's always good. After that, you need to negotiate your survey. Some banks will do a day one survey, and some banks, like the bank that we went with, Danske Bank, they will do a completion survey. So Danske Bank won't task a survey of the property, a valuation survey of the property, until they know that basically the mortgage is going to go through and that you will get the mortgage, so as to save you the 200, 300 quid that it is for the mortgage. Other banks like Nationwide, they will charge you for the survey and they will do it on day one. Then they will do the mortgage, and anything can happen where maybe you don't get that mortgage, but you've paid for the survey and the survey's done. You've just wasted £300. It is optional to get a home buyer's report done. Most people will tell you that they're a waste of money and they're a waste of time, but in our experience, we found that it wasn't, and that it was really worthwhile. Ours was £350. It was a local man that did it. He is a surveyor, and he went in and he went through the house in great detail. Now, he found small things and he found big things, and he was able to help us negotiate and whatever, and went through and showed us what was wrong with the house, what's good with the house, and so on. A standard valuation survey is where the bank will task somebody to go in and survey the house. They'll walk around it, they'll look, and they'll go, yeah, that's 150 grand. You don't know if there's damp, you don't know if it's sinking, you don't know if there's woodworm in the attic, you don't know if there's insulation in the attic, you don't know if the windows are falling out, obviously you'll probably know if the windows are falling out. You get where I'm going. It's up to you, but I would advise that you do it if you have that little bit of extra cash to spare to do it. Once that's done, and the bank comes back and says, yep, dead on, that house is worth the amount that everybody's asking for or everybody has agreed on, done. Hopefully then your mortgage will be completed. It is worthwhile keeping an eye on your credit score beforehand. The higher the credit score you have, the more likely the bank is to lend you the sum that you're asking for. Leah and I had good credit scores. I spent the last year to 10 months really focusing on my credit score. I made a lot of bad decisions when I was younger. and I missed payments, and you know, I had credit cards that were long overdue that I was paying interest on, and you know, it's really worthwhile getting your credit in order before you even think about buying a house. And it was something that I rushed to do then, and I knocked my pan in, but I got my credit score from, I'm not ashamed to tell you, it was in and around 500, which is considered poor. It's currently this month sitting at 990, which is 9 points off maximum. And it was hard to do that. It was hard to get there, but I got there. And because I got there, we were able to get the mortgage that we wanted. So it's worthwhile. Pay the £15 a month for Experian. That's who I would recommend, is Experian. Pay the £15 to them and keep an eye on your credit score. So now your mortgage is complete, your offer's been accepted, or your mortgage offer has been accepted. You then have to sign that paperwork and send that back to the bank or to the mortgage broker or whoever it is. Your solicitor will then get a copy of that. He will read down through it to see that there's nothing untoward. And then essentially your solicitor spends the next couple of weeks going down through everything that has ever happened to that house. If planning permission has been requested for a conservatory, the conservatory might not have been built, but the permission is there. He has to go down through and read that planning application and the acceptance of that planning application. If there was a conservatory done, he has to do the same for building control. Has building control signed off that piece of construction? Whether it was a conservatory, a garage, a loft conversion, whatever it was, they need to go down and read every single piece of paperwork that is attached to that house. And in our case, there's been a lot of planning permission requested, but no work done. So for our solicitor, it's a bit of a headache because he's now going down and reading all these pieces of paperwork that have nothing to do with the property. And this is the point that we're at the minute. So this is as far as I can advise you, because this is as far as I've gotten. And I don't want to predict what will happen next. I don't want to say, oh, this could happen, this will happen once you get the keys, because I don't know. I'm only telling you what I know from my experience of the last 5 weeks. Hopefully in the next couple of weeks we're going to find out something more about the house, and when we do, I'll make a part 3 to this video. After that then, once we get the keys, it's going to be, as Matt Carricker would say, Renovation Ranch. If you haven't, I really recommend you go and watch Off the Ranch, Demo Ranch and Vet Ranch. They're 3 of my favourite channels. They're all run by Matt Carricker, and he is the inspiration for me starting to vlog again, because he's just such a positive person. Anyway, that's tangent. I hope you enjoyed part 1 and part 2. I hope you found any piece of information from them helpful, and don't be afraid to comment underneath if you have any questions, because although I don't have all the answers and I'm not an expert, I've only ever done this once, I just know that it was really stressful for me, and I wish I had a video something like this that I could have followed and gone, oh, am I even doing it right? Is this the correct thing to do? Anyway, as I said, don't be afraid to comment, and if you like this video, I would appreciate a like. If you want to follow Leah and I on this next sort of process, please do subscribe if you feel that that's something you want to do. But for now, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you soon.